World leaders call it a shock, and for reasons that could reshape the balance of strategic power. Tonight, Russia's latest claim, the unveiling of a next-generation PAK-DA strategic bomber, now being described in some quarters as a hypersonic strike platform. We break down what was shown, what's plausible, and what it means for global security. Kremlin released footage today of what it calls a new PAK-DA, a long-planned, next-generation strategic bomber. State media say the aircraft carries hypersonic weapons and employs stealth and advanced avionics. But before panic sets in, analysts warn, headlines are muddled. We'll unpack fact from theater. The PAK-DA program, Russia's prospective aviation complex for long-range aviation, has been in development for years as a stealthy strategic replacement for older bombers. Fact 2. Russia has developed hypersonic missiles, such as glide vehicles and air-launched missiles, and is integrating hypersonics into its broader force structure. But fact 3. There was no independent, verifiable evidence up to mid-2024 that a manned hypersonic bomber had been completed or shown in flight. So what did the Kremlin actually present? The released footage and photographs, dramatic, carefully staged, show a flying wing A-frame with a low radar cross-section, internal weapon bays, and promotional shots of missile mock-ups labeled as hypersonic. That combination would, if verified, represent a dangerous pairing. Stealthy delivery plus potentially very fast, hard-to-intercept weapons. From an engineering perspective, there's a huge difference between a stealthy subsonic bomber and a vehicle capable of sustained hypersonic flight. Hypersonic speeds, 5 times the speed of sound or more, impose enormous thermal and structural challenges. Historically, most hypersonic systems have been uncrewed missiles or gliders, not manned aircraft. What's more likely, and what Russia may be signaling, is a stealth bomber designed to carry hypersonic missiles or glide vehicles as part of its payload. That nuance is critical. Call it a rhetorical shockwave. Branding the PAK-DA hypersonic will radiate strategic fear even if the A-frame itself flies at conventional speeds. Let's walk through 3 immediate implications. Strike reach and response time. First, if a stealth bomber can carry hypersonic missiles, the time between launch and impact could shrink dramatically for targeted zones. That compresses decision timelines for militaries and political leaders, complicating detection and response. Traditional early warning and intercept concepts suffer when the final leg of trajectory happens at hypersonic velocities. Second, a bomber that masks its approach with low observability, then releases hypersonic weapons, forces changes in nuclear and conventional posture. Air defenses optimized for ballistic or subsonic threats may struggle. Countries will need to accelerate radar coverage, space-based sensing, and pre-delegated response protocols, a potential escalation in alert levels worldwide. Arms racing and proliferation. Third, publicizing such capability, confirmed or advertised, is itself a strategic act. It may spur rivals to speed projects of their own, hypersonic interceptors, more resilient command and control, or counterforce capabilities. And it fuels an arms race dynamic that raises the odds of miscalculation. At the airbase where the footage was filmed, the atmosphere is part demonstration, part spectacle. Imagery carefully lights the aircraft to emphasize the sleek silhouette. Designers parade mock weapons in mock bays. Officials call this a readiness milestone. Independent observers say more verifiable tests will be needed to confirm operational capability. We have achieved a major advance in strategic aviation. The PAK-DA will secure our skies and strengthen global stability. Stability, a favorite word in strategic messaging. Analysts are less certain. Technical realities. Engineering constraints matter. Hypersonic flight creates temperatures hundreds to thousands of degrees Celsius on leading edges. Materials, intake design, and thermal management for sustained manned hypersonic platform are non-trivial. By contrast, releasing hypersonic missiles from a subsonic stealth bomber is technically feasible and aligns with known Russian investments. So, what might a realistic PAK-DA mission look like? A stealthy approach at subsonic or supersonic speeds to avoid detection, internal carriage to reduce radar signature, a launch standoff release of an air-launched hypersonic weapon, which then performs a high-speed terminal dash or maneuvering glide. This hybrid preserves the pilot plus crew advantages while leveraging hypersonic strike for high-value targets. Global reactions, potential. How will the world react? Expect rapid statements from NATO capitals, moves to review strategic deterrence postures, and calls for transparency or verification. Countries with advanced air defenses will highlight upgrades. Those without may accelerate diplomatic engagement to reduce tensions. If the PAK-DA proves able to reliably deliver hypersonic weapons, it's a game changer for planners. But we need proof, tests, flight hours, independent telemetry, before rewriting the books. Diplomacy will be tested. Armed control advocates warn the risk of an escalating spiral. Some will call for renewed talks on limitation for hypersonic systems. Others will say there is no substitute for deterrence and modernization. And a word on the headlines. World shock makes for clicks, but shock without verification can be dangerous. Misreading an image or labeling a weapon hypersonic when it's actually a hypersonic missile carried by a conventional aircraft leads to misperception and rash policy. The broader picture. Look beyond the dramatics. Modern warfare is increasingly about speed, stealth, and network sensors. Hypersonics, whether delivered by missiles, glide vehicles, or theoretically by exotic aircraft, fit into a larger mosaic: improved intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance ISR, resilient communications, and layered missile defense. Countries that concentrate only on one piece will find themselves outpaced. The PAK-DA itself became a message that a warning to Washington, NATO, and every radar operator on Earth. We're coming. You may not see us. And when you do, it's already too late. Like the B-2 Spirit and B-21 Raider, it uses fly-by-wire controls to keep its unstable flying wing steady in the air that it's massive, quiet, and constantly self-correcting, a ghost with wings. But stealth alone doesn't win wars. The PAK-DA needed something more: range. And that's where it becomes truly dangerous. The PAK-DA is made to fly 12,000 kilometers without refueling. That means a single launch could reach distant continents unseen. From Engels, it could reach Chicago or London. No need to dash fast. It uses endurance and stealth. The design is about staying quiet, not flying supersonic. IT cruises just below the speed of sound for fuel efficiency. IT can cover 12,000 kilometers on one fuel load. With aerial refueling, it can stay 24 hours. The crew will be only 2 pilots in a glass cockpit. Digital avionics will handle navigation, targeting, and defenses. The jet will link to satellites, fighters, ships, and submarines. IT becomes a flying command node, not just a bomber. A new shape emerges, one the Pentagon hoped would never appear. Reports say the first prototype is already being built. The question isn't if it flies, but when, because once the PAK-DA takes off, the balance of power won't stay the same. The PAK-DA is more than a bomber, it's a statement. It marks the end of one-sided air dominance and the start of a new era of stealth warfare. By the early 2030s, the skies may hold 2 shadows, not one. This isn't rumor or guesswork. It confirmed development and strategic planning. The PAK-DA is real. The challenge is real. And the shift in power has already begun. If this helped you see the rise of Russia's stealth power, hit subscribe. If you value facts over hype, smash like and turn on notifications. The 21st century air race is just beginning. Now tell us in the comments, will the PAK-DA truly challenge U.S. air supremacy, or is it overstated? Because a nation that rules the skies still writes the rules of the world. If you did, make sure like and subscribe to our channel for future updates. See you in the next video.